Oh, yes. This culture known as the American culture, yeah. The act of developing intellectual ability with education, the cumulative habits, beliefs, and shared experiences of a social, political, or hereditary group, a form of civilization, particularly the beliefs, arts, and customs. In biology, the growth of living material in a prepared nutrient media. Oh, then to crucify. Oh, the culpable, the culprit, the cult. I'm very concerned because I've informed law enforcement that my rights are being violated. And they don't think that it really affects them because they can read the documentation, but they don't understand that their refusal to enforce the laws does affect the culture of the United States of America. Now, you didn't give me 2 required attempts of service, did you? In 2013. This idea that those in the family are going to teach me a lesson about my intellectual ability. When you don't enforce the laws, it affects the culture of the nation. Now, I've heard this explained that if I just got a job, well, that affects the culture of the nation, doesn't it? Does my being an employee of a business or corporation mean that I'm owed something that a welfare recipient isn't? Now, when you think of the culture of the whole population, who was it that decided that those that are homeless, indigent, welfare recipients, that don't add to the actual tax base that supports those in law enforcement, aren't worth as much as somebody that earns millions of dollars a year? See, I have to talk to the people that I live in the same community with, and I don't say much to them, but they know who I am. And if they had a problem and they mentioned it, I try to help them. Now, is it a culture of teaching people lessons or helping people? Now, I know you got a badge on and you're not going to help me because I'm a wanton, mentally ill, homeless man that requires the assistance of law enforcement. Now I had told you about the issuing of a protection order where there's no signature of the petitioner. Then I mentioned that she didn't sign approximately 95% of the court documents, and your thought was, well, as long as I'm not in prison, I can continue to enforce the laws. Well, let's look at those that work in welfare. How many of them really give a shit about anybody? Of all of the welfare recipients that had received food stamps for the last 30 years, how many of them are still on food stamps? Then how many of them are on food stamps for longer than 5 years? 10 years? 20 years? Now, I know what the law says. The law says that you can be on food stamps for 60 months. Yes. And then the law says that after that, you can be on emergency food stamps because I did the research. So I'm concerned about law enforcement that thinks that you don't have to enforce the laws for those that are welfare recipients. Pooch. Is your badge more important than the food stamp card? Now, of each and every employee of every form of government in this nation that has the authority to give the benefits to the citizen that has the right to have them, how many took it upon themselves to teach the citizens? Well, let's look at all of those that are on emergency food stamp benefits right now. Yes, yes. Now, there's this problem of frustration. You make me look like I'm a domestic abuser, a child abuser. You don't give me notice or opportunity to be heard. And then when I walk into a government office, they decide, as the individual that they are, to find out if I have any warrants for my arrest. Is that part of their job? Do I have any warrants for my arrest? When we go through the food stamp recipients, let's look for all the warrants. Let's do that. Now, Pooch, you put Americans in this place where, as a culture, every employee of the government is working for law enforcement. How'd that happen? Now, I go in to apply for food stamps. They look at back child support. Oh, get me all of those in every state that owe back child support. And then get me every warrant for their arrest. And then get me every one of them that is on food stamps or eligible for food stamps. Oh, shit.